the way back from a blowout to nearly win the game.
Locally, in the high school football playoffs, the Reigns Vikings continued their dominant performance as they took down Booker 28-23 to seal their ticket to the state championship, and will take on Miami Northwestern this Friday down south. It's 80 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time in temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Welcome into XL Primetime. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We have greased the wheels. We are ready to go. That's for sure. 2 o'clock hour has arrived, and we're ready to crank. We definitely have a lot to get into. Still some Jaguar topics, of course, because your football team is got 4 games remaining, so we'll definitely dive into that. The transfer portal is red hot right now, and many other things, including last night with Monday Night Football action. So I'm glad to be back from Nash Vegas. I had a great time. Nash Vegas and Las Vegas do qualify, Leon, for the same. That if you stay there long enough, you can find trouble will find you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can only stay in Vegas for so long. I mean, but it's at least in Nash Vegas, you don't feel dirty after you leave.
I don't know about that.
I'm just telling you, every time I leave Vegas, I feel dirty. I need to take a shower.
No, if you stay on Broadway long enough, you will feel dirty.
Okay, I got.
But there's so many other nice places, honestly. So many just off that main drag that you can go and enjoy 12 South, the Gulch, and you can go to Germantown. There's just so many Green Hills, all of them. Just a lot of really cool places. So definitely enjoyed it. Had a great time. Got back. I think head on the bed, Coach, around midnight last night. So fired up and ready to go. Coach Campo hanging out with us on Tuesdays as he usually does. He hung out with you yesterday, Big, in the studio. And so we got plenty to get into. And I feel like we're probably going to do a little NFL while Coach is here and then get the transfer portal conversation going on in just a little bit. But let's start off with last night's game, Monday Night Football. And here's where we are. There are a couple of teams that a head coach right now is trying to save his job. One of them's here. One of them's down there in D-Town at the very least. Now, you know there's a couple of other places where they're looking and surveying, are we going to keep our guy? But these are 2 former Super Bowl winning coaches that we don't know what to make of what's happening here, do we? We don't.
No.
Dallas, now, honestly, just real quick reaction from both of you guys. Does Dallas look better? Does Dallas look like Mike McCarthy should save his job?
Well, I mean, Dallas they've had a litany of injuries on both sides of the ball.
Right.
That's Dak Prescott is out, and then Michael Parsons is Lawrence back in? I don't even think Lawrence is back. I mean, so you got key components on both sides of the ball that's costing you to lose games, and you got to remember too. Mike McCarthy has gone 12-5, 12-5. 12-5 playoffs.
It's hard to get rid of a guy.
And like Coach said, and he knows Jerry better than any of us, billionaires don't like the media and the people and the public to tell them what to do. And it looks from the outside looking in, you looking at the Dallas Cowboys and you're like, Mike McCarthy, this is last year. This team is terrible, especially the way they lost yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. Micah Parsons walked off the field. He storming off the field the way that thing went down last night.
Yeah. I mean, so who's to say? I mean, Doug Peterson's only been here going on 3 years now. I mean, he's had 9-8 and 9-8. He's only made 1 playoff appearance. I mean, he seems to be a little bit not as secure as maybe a Mike McCarthy, who's gone 12-5 3 straight years and has just got a down year and made the playoffs in those 3 straight years.
You, Coach?
Yeah, I think that I mean, he's got a track record over there in Dallas. You do that well for 3 years, although it's fairly similar. I mean, I've been asked, we've all been asked, what's going to happen here, and my reaction is 9-8, 9-8 is better than what they've had around here for a long time, other than 17. So, I think there's some heat I think Jerry, the way he makes a decision is based on what he sees in the stands. If he sees that there's a bunch of bags on their heads in the stands, that makes a difference with him. But people just talking, saying you need to fire this guy or that guy doesn't faze him at all. He's going to make his own decision.
Yeah.
Whereas Schott, I'm not sure what makes the decision because they're similar in some ways with loyalty, to be honest with you.
I do think loyalty is always going to be a good thing. It always is. I don't care what we're talking about. The people that you work with, you're close to, you got to make a decision. If you're a manager, you got to say goodbye. Loyalty definitely is important. But in this case, results are probably more important than anything. And it's a results-based business. And you could say to yourself, wait a minute, and we're just using Dallas as an example. We're basically doing a little Dallas versus Duval in this conversation. And you could say, okay, wait a minute. Results do matter. Well, then take a look at those 3 consecutive 12-win seasons, those 3 consecutive trips to the postseason. They let their fan base down in the postseason, but they did enough to get there every year. This team, unfortunately, had it going in the right direction and has fallen off a football cliff, and those results matter.
Well, I mean, I think even in Dallas, the expectations might be a little higher. The reason why Mike McCarthy's taking all the heat as far as the Dallas media and the fan base is because they've had these outstanding records and they've been one and done.
Yeah.
They've been one and done in all those situations. Let's just know that we know this. Jerry's not firing the GM. Let's just go and put that out there. He's the GM. Yeah. The GM's going to stay put, all right?
And his son also.
Yes,
and so he ain't getting rid of Steven.
Yeah. Here in Jacksonville, we're just trying to have a consistent stage of winning. We've had spurts every 3 to 5 years where we make the playoffs. We look like we're contenders. We look like we're solidified for the next 5 years, and then we go away in the abyss for about 3 years, and then we come back and we win 9 games, and then the next year we win 9, and then we're out the playoffs, and now we're right now where we are right now at 3-10. So I would just like to see this organization, this team, just have some consistency when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't be those. We've been one and dones in the playoffs for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and this is consistently bad instead of consistently good.
Yeah.
And that gets in the way too. So anyway, last night, real quick, this is a back and forth game. Both teams. It's funny. I'm watching as I'm either at the Nashville airport or I'm on the plane watching the whole way home, and it was a ton of offense, a lot of big plays, yet it was 7-7. It was a slow starter because they drive all the way down the field and Cooper Rush would throw a pick or Cincinnati would go for it on 4th down and they'd stop them. And so anyway, they ultimately start to put some points on the board. It gets down to the end of this ball game. Back and forth they go, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. It's down to where Dallas can close this bad boy out. Now, both of these teams, the Bengals and the Cowboys, have had some heartbreak. They've been in a lot of close games, and they've come up short. Last night, rushed the punt, blocked the punt, and then one of the Cowboys touches the ball past the line of scrimmage. And the rule is the rule. Now it becomes a live ball. And so what a heartbreaker for them. And then, and like we said, Micah was all sorts of mad afterwards.
Yeah, that's a tough way to lose a ball game. And, of course, you guys know I was in on one of those with back in Thanksgiving Day. Back in I'm not quite sure. I think it was in the 95 season.
Right.
I felt that we had to win that game in order to have a shot at home field advantage. Playing against Jimmy Johnson with the Miami Dolphins.
With the Dolphins, yeah.
And
so that's 95, right? Or not 95? Yeah,
95, I believe. Anyway, they're kicking a field goal at the end of the game. They're down by 2. If we kick the field goal, they win, but it's a 50-plus field goal with snow and ice and everything else. It comes up slow, and it comes up short, and Leon Lett, running down there, slips and falls and slides into the football with 10 seconds left. They get the ball. They kick the field goal to win the game. And, of course, I almost got divorced because by the time I got home, I was so mad. I treated everybody like you know what. And my wife told me, you ever do that again, I'm not going to be here when you get home. So it's a rough way to lose. I can commiserate with Parsons, the way he felt. I'll tell you, I was right there. So it was a rough way.
And he basically he just was so fired up. He said, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I can't put that frustration into words, bro. And he just basically went on. And you don't know what it's like to lose that often, Leon. But when you just see him, one thing after another happens either late in the game or you're blown out in a game, and you're just like, you're looking for answers and you can't find any.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, frustration sets in, and then first thing you try to do is that you want to lash out on your teammates, so you internalize it. That's the worst thing you could probably do, internalize all that anger when it's inside you, and then more than likely when you go home, family want to do this, and that. You try your best not to, give them the backlash of what you're feeling. But, yeah, if you're Micah Parsons and you're giving your all in the game to lose the way you lost, man, it's got to be frustrating for him, as an elite player to see this team not play to its potential. But even more than that, listen, as much as we talk, I'm still amazed how Joe Burrow can be effective at the quarterback position with a terrible offensive line. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, bro. It's so you don't know how many times I'm counting in the game where he's just getting whacked from the front, the back, the side, the leg, but he's still finding a way to drop dimes to Jamar Chase. I don't know how he does it.
No.
Absolutely. And
he's one of the best.
He is one of the best. And, Coach, when he gets up, he doesn't gripe or moan or go at nobody. He just goes about his business. And, I don't know how many times I saw the offensive line pick him up and pat him like, it's going to be okay. I said, man, block for him. Quit patting him.
Yeah.
Don't pat him, block for him. You don't want no damn pat. And protect them.
I'm trying to remember the exact sequence, and I'm sure someone on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures can remind me, 641-1010. But he ended up, towards the end of this game, hurting his knee courtesy of his face mask. That's what it looked like, okay, because they were looking at his knee afterwards. But how in the world are there 6 or 7 referee or officials, including a head ref, right there in the backfield of a game and not see that Joe Burrow was turned around?
Right.
Like he looked like, honestly, Carrot Top or whoever getting turned around 360 degrees via the face mask.
Well, it's an atrocity. It's an atrocity that organization has those offensive linemen trying to block for him. Yeah. It is, bro. They got to be. They're fiscally responsible for him hitting the ground as much as he's hit the ground.
Okay, so let's ask this very obvious question. We know that this football team here in Duval has struggled with offensive line play. More than anything else, they can't knock anybody off the ball to get a good ground game going. They're honestly one of the worst run blocking teams I think I've ever seen. Pass blocking, not bad. They're up, down, they're uneven. But how is it that Joe Burrow can drop back 44 times, throw for 369 yards, including those beautiful plays to Jamar Chase, deal with the sacks that he had to endure, and still go out and put those numbers up? Whereas this football team, they can't get going offensively to that level. How? Why?
Because he's elite.
Yeah, he's showing that,
he's
man.
elite. He's absolutely elite. I mean, anytime a guy who second year in the league where offensive line gave up 70 sacks, he still take him to the Super Bowl, he's elite.
Yeah.
I mean, he just finds a way to get it done.
And he hasn't stopped.
No. And I'll tell you, the thing that really shows how elite he is, he has the same tendencies as Josh Allen up in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. As soon as he doesn't see what he wants to see, he already knows what he's seeing. Mm-hmm. As soon as he doesn't see it, he immediately gets out. There's no hesitation. Oh, it's covered. I've got to run.
Right.
He gets moving, and his eyes are down the field, and that's how he makes the throws. I mean, there were a lot of times he had to escape last night. And when he didn't have to escape, he was getting hit, and that's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So, the guy is an elite player. There's no doubt about it. I mean, heck, he proves it every week. And the amazing thing is he doesn't have the team around him. Because everybody else that does what he does, we're 10-2. I read that stat. They had 5 other have been able to throw for that many yards with so little interceptions, and all the teams were 10-2, 9-3, 11-1, whatever, and they're 5-8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really they're and someone has said it. Many people actually have said this, is that there's no excuse for one side of the football to keep letting down that other side of the football. Leon's talked about it. That will cause some locker room problems over time because in this case, they did a decent job when they needed to shut it down. They pick off. And again, this was against the backup, Cooper Rush. But anyway, they held him to 20 points. They ended up winning this ball game 27-20. A lot of people probably, the way it started, expected it to be just a big old shootout, 38-35 at the end of the game. But we always talk about how Trevor's getting wasted here. Joey up in Ohio is getting wasted right now too. Now they made it to the postseason a couple times, but then an injury ended his season last year before he arrived here for a Monday Night Football game. What was that, Thanksgiving weekend? He ended up getting hurt last year, and it's just not. He's played through all this, and he looks like he's still a little hurt, but their product is bad right now. Defense.
So what would you give him? Would you give him a better offensive line or a better defense?
Man, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah. My thought is a better defense.
Yeah, me
because
too.
he's been able to operate.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing because I'm saying to myself, what does he need? Because because he's able to be as efficient as he is with the offensive line he has anyway.
Yes.
So you might as well give him a good defense so you can steal possessions and give him more opportunities to score.
Because the cat.
And another thing you need to do, you need to pay Jamar Chase.
Oh my gosh!
Please.
He 100%. This will be an off-season question, but who's the best wide receiver one out there right now? And between him and Justin Jefferson. It ain't easy to answer that question. Right. It really. And Chase has answered it himself.
Well, yeah, Chase is going to say whatever Justin has made, I want more.
Yeah.
So Justin's averaging $33 million a year. So he's got to get at least 35. We're going to start at 35.
He is one smooth customer out there on a football field. That's for sure. All right, we keep it going. Speaking of customers, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they'd love to have you as a customer. Many have already been there. Coach knows, I know. We certainly love Beaver Chevy and Beaver Toyota, and you can get great deals. The people are really what it's all about, and Linda says it, and she means it. They're there to wow you, and they want to sell 1,000 cars in December, so make sure you take advantage of it. Incentives are all going to be there to make sure that you're happy. But check them out, Beaver Toyota, staugustine.com, beaverchevrolet.com. So Jaguar related, we just asked, is Mike McCarthy doing enough to keep his job? I think you might be a little surprised when you hear what Jerry Jones had to say about the outcome last night, so we'll get into that. And this football team, the conversation we all had yesterday, are they going to win a few games to keep this staff and front office around? We'll get into all that coming up. It's XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. He is our quarterback savant, and he'll take you inside his mind.
So you can learn more about the science of quarterbacking.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer. Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Tacos and sports go hand in hand, literally. You can watch sports with a taco in each hand or with a taco in one hand and a surfboard in the other. Don here from Taco Lou. I love sports, and since you're listening to this station, you love sports as well. If you love sports and tacos, then Taco Lou is calling your name. We always have the game on here, or you can call in a to-go order to watch at home, or let us cater your next watch party. Catering for the holidays? No problem. Taco Lou in Jax Beach. Cheers to tacos, sports, holidays with the family, and tequila.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table. This is the absolute last weekend. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
Human trafficking happens in Jacksonville. As a man, you can do something about it. Buy Survivor-made holiday gifts at Rethreaded. From leather goods to toffees and treats, shop in person or online at rethreaded.com. Changing lives through gifting.
Spend lunchtime with the ladies.
Hey, where's your sense of adventure?
They don't cook, but they serve up spicy sports talk.
Sure, it's on the menu.
Helmets and heels.
That is a meal.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans on 1010XL.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with our much-anticipated High Hands promotion, giving away over $330,000 in cash and prizes. The excitement continues to grow each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a card player poker cruise. Explore all the excitement at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Brian Thomas Jr. was wheeling and dealing on Sunday in Tennessee. The rookie wideout recorded 86 yards on 8 receptions, averaging 10.8 yards per catch. BTJ had himself a day in enemy territory and is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Get 15% off roof repairs or replacement, plus a $250 gift card to brighten your holiday shopping. Get flexible financing with payments as low as $150 a month and free roof inspections. Secure your home and your savings today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Well, let me just say this quickly. And Mike is an outstanding coach. He has an outstanding record. He's got great experience. A lot of what he's about, some of the benefits that we're having out there, we're gaining from the type coach that he is. And so there's an old adage, when you start thinking about any coaches, you better give it a good look.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
So that was owner Jerry Jones, president Jerry Jones, general manager Jerry Jones. He's got all the business cards to prove it. Talking about his head coach, Mike McCarthy. This was after the loss last night, and basically went on to say that win-loss percentage, he mentioned that Mike McCarthy just moved past Bill Parcells. Well, so you're talking about what you're doing right now, but the message is clear. Jerry Jones, as we've just laid out, is still into the idea of keeping Mike McCarthy as his head coach. So let's comment on that. But we're putting it up against the backdrop of here. Is Shad going to say some of the same things when it's all said and done, record-wise, if this thing just goes south?
I mean, what Jerry is saying is that the grass ain't always greener. Where people want to fire coaches, who are you going to replace them with?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, because, Mike McCarthy, although they're struggling a little bit now this year because of injury-wise and Dak Prescott being out, he's a hell of a coach. He's absolutely – Jerry looks at him as a hell of a coach. Three 12-win seasons in a row, and he's having a down season. And he said, just be careful. He's basically saying, hey, listen, be careful when you want to fire coaches because who are you going to replace them with? Yeah, that's the key. That's what I'm getting from Jerry.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I think that's the same kind of logic, I guess, that I'm using. That, it's kind of like the playoff, the college playoff thing. Do you take strength of schedule or do you take wins and losses? It's the same thing. There's two things you look at when you're looking at what we do with Doug Peterson.
Right.
Do you take the fact that we've won games the last 2 years prior to this one, or do you take the fact that we're 3-4 and 15 out of the last 19?
Yeah,
there's you got to weigh those two things, and then what Leon said is what he's saying. Who are we going to get out there that maybe gives us a better chance?
Well, at least with the college football, there's a bunch of things to look at. You could use different criteria. Like we said, it's a very subjective decision. They're looking at eyeballs and ratings and whatever. Whereas this is, we just went back to our first part of our conversation. It's all results oriented.
Yeah.
There's no strength of schedule that you can bring up, or we've played this many top 25s. It's how many games did you win?
And I've read.
Go ahead, Coach.
Well, just quick. I just read somewhere where the last 3 years of Doug Peterson, there's been more wins, including this year, than any 3-year span.
I don't
since Shad has owned the club.
Well, yeah. If you go back to 2012 when it first started, you basically have a total of three winning seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, since 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're hoping that you bring in better because everybody's talking about Brian Johnson, right, from the Detroit Lions.
Ben Johnson
from the Detroit Lions. And, I mean, just because he's on a winning team right now, you know 100% sure that he can bring that same magic to Jacksonville.
Right.
Because he's on that.
And you don't know if a coordinator is going to be a good head coach. You really don't.
You don't.
Because they don't make decisions that have to be made as a head football coach. That's one of the reasons that you're throwing out names like Bill Belichick and Doug Peterson and, you name it. I mean, that's part of the decision making.
Yeah, and anybody that you see that comes through, and the reason why I keep joking, I wanted Johnson in Jacksonville because I love Ben Johnson, the style of offense that he puts out there. I actually think that his and the variations that we've seen, be it Shanahan, McVay, Slowick, any of these guys, along with Ben, they have taken it to another level. And they are now, if you want to think about it, they're the ones who are bringing the run game back into offense because they're trying to deal with that cover two. They're trying to deal with that, with the way things are being defended now. And so that part of it I like a lot. Yeah. And then I like the idea of Brad Holmes' lieutenant or his next best man, Ray Agnew, is the guy that Hayes and others have zeroed in on. You bring both of those guys, you got a chance. But we don't know whether this guy's going to be a good head coach.
Can you bring the offensive line too?
That'd be nice.
I mean, because he's a coordinator now.
Yeah.
He's effectively able to do the things he's able to do because that offensive line is mean and athletic, and they get after it. All the things that he loved to do as a coordinator, effectively, is because the offensive line sets the table for everybody else to eat. That's the key.
Yeah.
So if you tell me that if you bring in Ben Johnson here, he's going to revamp the offensive line, then I'm all for it.
See, that's why I'm after the general manager or his next best man to do that, because that's what you're talking about.
Right.
So that guy in the front office says, you know what, I know how this whole thing came together, and it came together with the bigs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it starts up front. I don't care what anybody says. It starts up front. You can have all the weapons in the world. You have the receivers, tight ends, and all that kind of stuff. You have the quarterback. If you don't have the offensive line, an efficient and effective offensive line, don't mean much.
And I always argue that it's not just it begins with the offensive line for the offense. It begins with the offensive line for the team,
right?
Yeah.
Because you own the clock, you score, you take the lead. Your defensive ends now get to tee off a little bit more. Everything, and if you can control the ball, you're going to give defensive guys rest. If you can't, they're going to be exhausted. So it handles both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this football team, you look at Detroit. One of the reasons that they've, gone in the opposite direction of us is the fronts, in my opinion. And we neglected the fronts here. If you really look at what we did, we did not. We looked at the offensive line. The general manager said we got to be tougher and more physical and more, and we bring in Morse. Well, okay, Morse is fine. He's probably a better technician and everything than Fortner was, but he ain't going to help the physical part of it, any. No. So we don't do anything there. And then on defense, we keep 8 tackles. Now, you either keep 8 tackles because you got some really good tackles, or you're not quite sure if any of them are any good, and that's kind of what's happened with this group. And then you don't bring in a third pass rusher. I mean, really, when you look at it, the front has been neglected here, in my opinion.
Oh, I will agree with it, and it's so funny because it's been going on far too long, where multiple general managers have tried to fix that, to go back and find a set of Searcy's and Baselli's, and they have gone down the line, and they never really have conquered that. And you can go interiorly with some of the good guys at this. Brad Meester, you want to know a count-on guy?
Yeah.
Okay, a count-on guy. Brad Meester for 14 flipping years, you could count on that guy.
Absolutely.
And they haven't had that since then. And so those are the types of things that you have got to get it right up front. And where does that blame lie?
General manager.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yahtzee.
Yeah, when he says that we're good at the offensive line, he contradicted himself. First of all, he said that the offensive line is good. We're going to run it back, essentially. Yeah. And then later on during the offseason, he said this team has got to be more physical and tough. Well, I mean, you saw the offensive line. You couldn't unsee what we saw down the stretch. This team got beat up on both sides of the ball. The reason why we went from 8-3 to 9-8 was effectively that we got punched in the mouth on both sides of the ball. Yeah, we did. We absolutely did. And then you have Mitch Morse is. Is he an upgrade from Fortner? Yeah, not that much. Yeah. He's older.
More technical, maybe.
Yeah, technical. But that comes with it. He's older and he's got more experience. He's seasoned more. So so he's going to effectively have more, like you said, Coach. He's going to be more of a technician and all the other kind of stuff. But he don't blow nobody off the ball.
No,
he don't. He tries to position block people.
Yeah.
The part of the problem is the higher draft pick you got. The better draft pick you got, excuse me. I don't know if it's higher. If you're number 1, 2, 3, or 4, most of the time you're not going to take an offensive lineman. So somewhere along the line, and then if you pick 18th or 20th or whatever we were, what were we this last year?
Well, it started out 17, went to into the 20s.
They probably could have got a lineman at 17.
Yeah.
But once you get past that, then you're taking receivers and guys, skill guys.
And the Quinyon Mitchells of the world, which are right in front of BTJ. Yeah. But the other thing is that, at least for the here and now, this team, offensive line-wise, is looking interiorly.
Absolutely.
And you can't necessarily spend high first-round draft picks with IOL.
You got to hit the right guys, the BBs. The guys like that.
Second rounders.
Second round guys that are really good players. And we haven't done that, really.
All right, listen, we're chewing on this just like we're chewing on some of that good chicken. Leon is in this, crazy mode of constantly bringing in grub. Got to stop it, man. I just came off the road, and I ate a lot of good, but it wasn't It was bad for me, but it was a lot of good. And then here you go, doing it again. All right, it's XL Primetime, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We're staying on your Jags. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure, 641-1010, or jump in the YouTube chat.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. We're moving closer to the playoffs in the NFL and college football, and that's a perfect time to play and win with PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. Think James Cook will rush for more than 60 yards? It's just that simple. And now you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Look, PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. That's right. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit and cash out as quickly as 15 minutes. Now, here's the best part. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. That means your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, and get $50 instantly when you play 5. It's all there at PrizePicks. Run your game.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
My name's Jim. I'm 53 years old. There should be options in life, like ways to lose weight. Medications now feel like the only option. I mean, it sounds like a guarantee. I do have friends who have lost weight with them. I tried holding off. I did other diets, but I was miserable. I'd rather be fat and happy. The problem was I wasn't happy fat. I was about to start the meds, but then I heard of Awaken 180's GLP-1 program. Turned out it does the same thing as the meds without injecting myself for life. It absolutely worked. I dropped 45 pounds. I'm now in maintenance, and I feel better than my friends who are still on the meds. Listen, I barely know what GLP-1 is. What I do know is Awaken 180 worked for me, and I was far from miserable doing it.
Thanks, Jim. You all know our success with Awaken 180, and now with Awaken 180's GLP-1 Balance, you address the root causes of weight issues. Do it naturally, then keep it off. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split, AC, Plumbing, and Electric.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 10, 2016, quarterback for the Louisville Cardinals, Lamar Jackson wins the 82nd Heisman Trophy, making him the youngest player to receive the award.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson's message to the team after Sunday's win in Nashville.
I just want to say that I appreciate every single one of you, because what we've been through, this is not easy. It's not easy, but you find ways, right? It's proven right there to find ways. Defense, you balled your ass off. Okay, you kept the offense in it. Great job. Great job. And then offensively, hey, we got it going in the second half. We got a couple drives going. We got points. That's what it takes. Okay? All right? So, hey, 1, 2, 3.
Doug Peterson, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Beautiful day back from Nash Vegas, where it was cold up there for a while, man. Honestly, I don't know how people deal with that. It wasn't even that bad because it ended up being like a kind of a, I don't know, mid-40s, just kind of nasty kind of rain game day. But it was still great. Everything was great up there, but the weather's so much better down here in Duval. Although they're talking about a little bit of weather tomorrow. We have our Toys for Tots annual XL Primetime Christmas tournament at the Golf Club of Southampton tomorrow, so hopefully the weather will hold up. Golf gods love the 9 after 5 and the XL Primetime Christmas, so hopefully they can take care of it. If you're not part of it, you want to drop off a toy there at the Golf Club of Southampton or here for our Toys for Tots drive, making sure these kids got smiles on their faces for Christmas. You can drop off toys here or at the Golf Club of Southampton. We definitely would love that. All right, so Coach Campbell for one more seg. Joe C., Big Sirs hanging out, RJ cranking the XL Primetime airwaves here until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So before you go, Coach, at least a little primer on the Jets and the Jags on Sunday, what you see. But just going back to what we were talking about a second ago, and this is the unsolvable, this is the Rubik's Cube of the Jaguars. It's just so dang hard to figure it out. But like we said, if you are not providing the proper personnel to give this football team a chance to block up front and get things going, and then on top of that, you basically are looking at coaching staff that doesn't seem to have a quick start to any game, answers on offense, any flow. The performance level is so low right now offensively. Think of where they were, average points per game, and how far they've dipped. They even though they won this football game, they barely got to double digits.
They did.
So
lowest scoring game in the NFL this season, 10-6.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. But it's crazy what Balky said. I mean, it feels like he's throwing Doug under the. Well, I reflect on two things. I reflect on when Shad Khan said, "Listen, I'm tired of spending money on free agency. These draft picks that we're drafting, they've got to be able to develop, because when you go out in free agency and spend the money on these guys, you're actually saying that you're missing on guys that you drafted. All right, so that's what you have to go into free agency, and you missed on the guys that you drafted. You're not developed them properly, and then Trent Baalke throws Doug under the bus by saying that tells Shad Khan that this is the greatest roster ever assembled. So if it's the greatest roster ever assembled and if he doesn't perform well with him, then Doug he's the problem. He's not developing the guys that I'm bringing in through the draft and free agency and all that kind of stuff. So, but we've seen the effectiveness or the ineffectiveness of this team all year long.
And I maintain that if he was the one who did say it to Shad, because that's the biggest mystery, and we all
we assumed that
we
was
all
said,
pretty much
because Doug already said he didn't say it.
No.
Oh.
Is that it may backfire on him because he is now realizing that it's not a very good roster, all things considered. So, what honestly, where's the linchpin for the slow start and all that?
Yeah, well, looking at this game going forward, I think it's a similar situation than the one we just played. They're offensively, they're fairly similar to us, to be honest with you. They haven't scored a lot of points. They're down low in the points. They're very low on the rush since Breece Hall's been hurt. So that, to me, is to our advantage because they've got the GOAT at quarterback, one of the GOATs.
Sure.
He's probably a smaller GOAT than some of them.
He ain't no Tommy.
Billy Goat.
That's not right.
Billy Goat.
Yeah, he's a Billy Goat. And that's the concern because he can go off at any time. You just never know. But their offensive production has not been that good. They're similar to us, to be honest with you. Difference is him. On defense, they're high in the rankings on everything except rush and points.
Okay.
So we've got to be able to run the football offensively to give us a chance there. And to be honest with you, if our defense performs like they did in this last ball game, that will give us a chance. But I think this game is much tougher to win than the one we just played.
Yeah, because you're starting to see it. If you go back and Will Levis just even Aaron Rodgers struggling right now, he's still Aaron Rodgers.
That's what
and his touchdown to interception ratio has skyrocketed up, meaning he's given the ball away way more this year than we've ever seen from him in his career. So the potential is there for a mistake like that to be made, but pass pressure is going to have to help make Aaron Rodgers make some bad decisions. But he's now starting to get Devontae Adams lathered up again. Garrett Wilson, we know what he is capable of. And they, by committee, have been able to do some other things to manufacture a little bit of a run game because he loved Breece Hall early, and he could flip the ball off to him.
And I don't know, is he out? I mean, he was out for this game. But
back and forth, like you said, health-wise.
Because if he plays, they're a much different football team, in my opinion. He's one of the linchpins to them for sure. Just like our guy. If Bigsby and Etienne together can get it going, that we're a much better offensive football team because we may not score a lot of points, but we're gonna hold on to the ball a little bit with those guys if they can run the football.
It's just so hard to sit back and watch a football team that cannot get out of the blocks hot at all. And I have to at least include this in the conversation. You script the first handful of plays, 10, dozen, 15, something in that neighborhood. Those are the ones you think are going to be the most successful. Is that not true? And if they ain't successful, then you ain't figured it out.
Listen, let me just say one more thing. There's two things we've talked about that happened in this game, two things that I heard that just is mind-boggling to me. When Doug said that we made an adjustment to get the ball to number 7 in the second half.
You got to be kidding.
And he got the ball 8 or 9 times, whatever it was. And then the other thing, what did you just say? I just lost my train of thought. The other thing was, just what have we said right along? Both our quarterback now and the quarterback we had are better when they're no huddle, when there's tempo. And he said it in a press conference this week. He said, well, we seem to operate better when we're in the tempo. Well, no kidding. Why did this not happen 5 games ago? Because it was the same thing. You said it. The script is not working.
It's ridiculous. It's like, okay, wait a minute. we're about to see a great movie, and then that script they roll out, and guys can't remember their lines and everything like that's what this looks like. They were held scoreless for 3 quarters. If you go down the line, the number of times that they've not been in the end zone or been productive in the first half of ball games, it's tireless, it's endless, it's maddening, it's all that. And so,
well, it took them week 14 to have an epiphany. And maybe if we just start with a little tempo, maybe if we get the ball to number 7, maybe we can score some points.
Yeah.
Nearly 90 yards.
Jeez.
And just they erupted that one drive, and I was down at the corner of the press box at that point, in the direction that the Jaguars were traveling, and it was bang, bang, bang.
They had
bang.
2 drives in the second half where he was really basically no huddle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
and you know what? That honestly, and you can use a golf analogy. It's the guy that goes out on Sunday, trailing by 10 shots, shoots a little 64, and shoots 4 shots off the lead and gets in the top 10.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, man, what a great round. Well, you weren't in it, man. You were not in it.
Right.
And that's this football team. Now, in this particular case, they won the game. So they were in this football game.
Correct.
But only because of how poor, pitiful that offense was as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And this Jets offensive line is just as poor and as pitiful as the Titans offensive line is.
Yeah.
And we've got to be a lot more effective against the poor teams offensively. I mean, the pass rush has got to be essential. I mean, you cannot give Aaron Rodgers time to throw the ball.
Right.
You've got to be in his space. The one thing he doesn't like in his space, he doesn't scramble as much as the younger Aaron Rodgers does.
Right.
He rather stay in the pocket. But yeah, you got to be in the space. You got to bring him down a couple times. You got to take a couple of hits on him. And with this offensive line, you can do that.
He likes to invite the blitz. This blitz will never get to him. It doesn't appear. They have not been able to get enough guys home often this season. And I know they've dialed a few things up and they've been able to get to, but by and large, they haven't created a whole lot of pressure with a guy that likes to sit in the pocket. Tony Pollard ran for over 100 yards. He basically averaged about 5 yards per carry, 20 totes, 100 yards, right in that neighborhood. What about that? Like you said, they don't necessarily have to worry about a 100% healthy Breece Hall.
Yeah. That's a plus.
That's a plus, like you said. And so we'll see whether or not they can get the job done against them or not. But this time of the year, you're trying to figure out what you want. All these guys are playing for jobs. All these guys are on tape. Everyone's trying to make sure that they get to stay in the building or they get to move on and have another place to play.
Yeah.
The coaches, the front office, they want to stay in that building. And so that's when we're going to figure out whether or not this football team's got a little fight left.
Yeah, we got to see the Jury and Joneses and Monteric Browns have got to play more than Darby and Mason Smith has got to play. He had a decent ball game. He's got to play more. Those are the kind of guys that's what we got to see down the stretch here.
I've seen Mason Smith flash, and I would love to see that because that's the developable guy that you put high on your draft board. You took him 48th overall. That means he's a top 50 pick in the National Football League draft. He's got to show up and be more of an impact player. And more than one guy needs to be an impact player.
This was his best game, this last one. He's stout.
Mm-hmm.
He's an okay pass rusher right now, but I think he's got the ability to be better. But it's the same old thing. You know, one time he'll jump under a block and you got to stay in your gap.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just go on athletic
That's the whole freelancing part, right?
You know, and if he does that, he'll be a guy that they can count on down the road.
Well, if not, remember we was watching Ohio State Michigan game.
Yeah.
We'll find his replacement.
Yeah.
I told Coach I'd take Graham and Grant
Me too,
right
and
now.
I texted him right back. I said, absolutely.
Those 2 D tackles for Michigan, I'll take them right now today.
Oh, and look, there are some of those guys that you know are capable of coming in and making impact plays immediately for football teams. We have not seen enough of that around here, that's for sure. And we've had guys that step in because Jarian Jones as a 3rd-round pick was kind of panned. I still like his physical nature, his ability to break on the ball.
Attitude. And, I like him.
There's a lot of promising things there, but you got to make sure that you turn him into more than what he is right now.
Right.
Buster Brown, nice little uptick, but not necessarily saying he's done everything. All right, Coach, I am just scanning this because I was having fun up on the rooftop at Old Red, and so I did not have the ability to write down all the picks. Now, RJ recorded all this.
Yeah, the only thing is he didn't have the spreads on it.
I don't care. I gave you the spreads. All I wanted him was to write down, right? You wrote down who picked what. And so we will keep an eye on this and see where we are. We're going to miss you on Friday.
Yeah.
But I will shoot you the picks. I can just tell you this much. Oregon, you know what you went. You went what? You believe?
I went 5-1.
Son of a God. Son of a God.
Where did I go? Because
all right, so Coach had Oregon, Arizona State, Georgia. In the NFL, he had Minnie.
Yep.
Okay, Minnesota, which ended up doubling up Atlanta. That was a dumb pick on my part. I'm picking against Minnesota because they've got to lose at some point. But anyway, that's what I did there.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we went Seattle.
Then
all
I
of
had
us.
Seattle.
Yep.
And then I lost the Kansas City.
You lost
So I was
Kansas City.
5-1.
5-1.
I went 5-1 because I somehow, for whatever reason, I picked Texas to beat Georgia. I figured they couldn't get their butt whooped twice.
Yeah, so you went 2-1 in college.
And 3-0.
And ran the table.
That's right.
He loves it. He loves it. All right, that's good stuff.
What'd you do?
I can't count right now, and we got to get to break. I think I might have been another one of those kiss your sister days.
Yeah, Matt's the one. I don't think he's even close.
I know. I took. I was fooled into Iowa State, and it's only because I picked him at the beginning of the year. You know that's what happened. All right, Coach, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
You got it.
All right, we head into the 3 o'clock hour. We do have some transfer portal talk, some college football news. Definitely looking forward to these matchups. We'll do it coming up on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Get inside the mind of Jags coach Doug Peterson.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have butterflies.
Coach Speaks. Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show.
I want to win.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Custom windows and doors on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
Mia here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That will double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your double deposit bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
Tony Baselli gets up early Monday morning to share a big football breakfast with you.
Some French toast and sausage patties.
Hall of Fame Monday, 7:20 with Dan and Jeff on the Drill. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Anderson. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free TrueScreen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help. And this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Kuhn Flowers invites you to join their Spread the Joy gift drive, supporting families here in Florida impacted by the recent hurricanes. They're accepting new and unwrapped toys, gifts, or monetary donations. Visit KuhnFlowers.com to find out more.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Where is the largest cave in the world? The answer coming up.
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The largest cave in the world is located in Vietnam. It's called San Dun and has its own river and forest.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a peacemaker. Friends, so often we can only want to help people who are in our inner circle. But God never had inner circles. The world was his inner circle, and he's depending on us to make a difference and to leave our mark in this life. So go out today receiving his peace and then sharing it with the world.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Although in cooler temperatures in Tennessee, the Young Guns brought the heat when it mattered most in the contest. Tank Bigsby would rumble, bumble, and score an 8-yard touchdown for the Teal and Black in the fourth quarter, making the score 10-6 in favor of Jacksonville with 6:46 left in the game. The Tank Bigsby score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. With FSU season ending with a 2-10 record, they had a wave of decommits along with many players entering the portal. Some of the players that have entered the portal include veteran wide receiver Darian Williamson, who played in 12 games in the 2024 season, contributing on special teams as well as being a part of the wide receiver rotation, catching 5 passes for 71 yards. Most recently, true freshman quarterback Luke Kromenhoek, who entered the season as a third-string quarterback, ultimately ended up splitting snaps with the other backup QB, Brock Glenn. Kromenhoek earned his first start against Charleston Southern, throwing for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns. Florida Gators starting edge rusher Jack Pyburn has also entered the portal with 1 year of eligibility remaining as a junior. Tyburn became a starter this season, recording 60 total tackles, 20 solo, and 1 sack and an interception in his 12 games played. It's 76 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
3 o'clock hour, XL Primetime, hanging out. Hope everybody's having a good day. Middle of the week. It will be here before you know it. We're enjoying a Beaver Chevy Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We're going to be out at the Golf Club of Southampton tomorrow with our Toys for Tots Primetime Christmas. So if you want to drop off a toy, you can do it right there at the golf club, and we will make sure it gets in the hands of the kids. The Marines always do a great job, and so if you want to drop it off here or there, that'd be great. We will definitely be passing on a lot of toys, that's for sure. Beaver Chevy will be out there, and Beaver Toyota. They'll have a hole-in-one on the golf course, and they definitely want to make sure that they ace your sales experience when it comes to buying a brand new or pre-owned. They can definitely take care of you on both lots. Beaver Chevy, the lineup is so strong when you're talking about the big pickup trucks. It could be Silverado, Colorado. You got those SUVs and the crossovers. So many ones to choose from right there on Phillips Highway. And then, of course, the outstanding Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner. TLD is on her, I think, third 4Runner, loves it. I got the NASCAR Camry, love it. So make sure you check out both Beaver dealerships. So we've been talking a lot of NFL, and we need to get back into the college football world. And the one thing that I was looking at more than anything else, Big Searce, is what Denny Thompson said yesterday, that the transfer portal is just red hot. And that's the way teams are going to build, because they can go get experience, and it may not have worked on one campus, and they think it's going to work on the other campus. But you know as well as I do, and let's just use two things as an example. DJU versus Cam Ward.
Yeah.
You go out and you get both teams thought they had solved a quarterback question. Can we go get a guy that can kind of keep us going in the right direction? In the case of FSU, can we get a guy that'll get us going in the right direction in the case of Miami?
Yeah, we spend more money. That's the bottom line. Now, don't get me wrong, DJU, I mean, he got $800,000 to go to Florida State. And you can ask any Florida State fan how productive they thought he was. He was not as productive as Cam Ward. And Cam Ward, it cost us 2.1. That's the going rate. If you want, I believe that's probably the going rate for a successful quarterback. Now, we didn't know how successful Cam Ward was going to be. I mean, congratulations, by the way, to Cam Ward, Davey O'Brien Award winner.
And a finalist.
For the Heisman, yeah. But, yeah, that's the growing rate. And if you're a team that you feel that you're a couple of players away, from making the college football playoffs or winning your conference, then you spend that money. I mean, that's why you have the collectives. You tell them, hey, this is what we're missing. These are the key components that we're thinking. And you don't have time. You don't have the time to be, developing, 5 4-star recruits right now, especially if you feel that you're a contender within the next year or so. So, and it's amazing. I mean, because it's amazing to me that you put all this effort into signing day, and then the portal's just a couple of days later.
And it's so funny because the way recruiting has gone, we know the shift has been dramatic. From National Signing Day, it kind of took on its own little mini stage. Mm-hmm. There was this Cruton season, as we would call it forever. You don't talk Cruton. Way before the NFL came into Duval, that's what sports radio was. Regular season, and then Cruton season, spring ball, and we all know how it went. And now that National Signing Day, as big as it was in February, is now as big as it can be in December, yet it still is lost. We still don't know who all these big names are because we're just trying to keep catch up with the transfer portal and with the recruiting. And so now the transfer portal, you hear all these big names, and there is a massive amount of them that are moving here, there, and everywhere. And it's good and bad. We know there are pluses and minuses to it.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm a proponent of the players getting paid, absolutely.
Sure.
And the portal is essentially free agency. You're going into free agency. But even to some degree, I mean, listen, our free agency in the NFL is what? March?
Yeah.
It's March. It's like one season.
Yes.
You got all different seasons for these portals now. I don't know how many is it. Was it three seasons of portal a year or 2?
Yeah,
whatever.
There's little periods where it shuts down, but it does feel like it's always open to some degree. But the other part of it is, Leon, how many times can you remember in a 10-year, a double-digit year career, how many times did you hit free agency?
I hit free agency 2 times.
Okay.
When I left Jacksonville to go to Baltimore, and I left Baltimore to go to Miami.
Okay, so but 3 times.
Well, no, 3 times because when I left Pittsburgh to come to Jacksonville.
Okay, but over an 11-year
career, 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
That tells everybody all they need to know right there.
Mm-hmm.
This transfer portal is happening on an annual basis for players in the college game. Now, they're going to rein it in.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though, Joe. I was locked into long-term deals. I mean, eventually, you don't have to pay all these players a salary, all right? And then you have to lock these players into at least 2 to 3 year deals to where they can't move and maneuver. You know what I'm saying? So now you're talking about revenue sharing. Now you're talking about sharing revenue with college football, with the presidents and all that, other TV contracts, that kind of stuff. But I mean, because that's the only way you're going to be able to neutralize the portal is to pay everybody across the board.
Right.
Let them still have NIL, but then if you're getting paid a certain salary, they're going to lock you into 2 or 3 years. The reason why I wasn't able to move and maneuver when I wanted to, because first the Jaguars locked me into a 5-year deal. And then Baltimore locked me into a 4-year deal. So that's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
I hope that they can rein this bad boy in some way, somehow, make it reasonable for everybody, because the fans themselves are still getting ripped off. At least I believe they are. Like, I'll give you an example. This isn't 100% a that, but RJ, let's at least hit it because it's a that for our show.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So he was one of the dudes that I really enjoyed watching play this year, and I called him kind of co-defensive coordinator, Jack Piber, from right here in the city of Jacksonville, a Gator. And when things started to turn in the right direction for Florida, it was really on both sides of the ball. DJ Lagway coming in, getting the ground game going, letting him be a star, feeding the football to all those receivers. And it really started to look like a pretty good offense, a fun offense to watch and a difficult one to defend. Then on the other side, defensively, they got better. And it was because the Jack Pibers of the world, the Pop Howards of the world walked in and said, we need to change what we're doing defensively. And they did. And so now Pyburn is entering the transfer portal. So that sucks. But that's just it's business. Like we said.
It is business.
And so someone may look at him and go, you know what, bro? You popped. You flashed. We saw some good things from you. Let's say you come over here and we'll pay you X.
You know it was coming. Hey, I was at the watering hole the other day, and I was talking to a South Carolina fan. All right, and I say, your quarterback Sellers,
right?
Y'all got to up the ante on Sellers. I told him. He said, "Are you for real?" I said, "You're going to either up the ante or you're going to bounce. You're going to find that." I mean, he's built like a Cam Ward, run wise, arm wise, size wise. You mean to tell me that anybody in the SEC wouldn't want that kid on his team?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
that's going to up the ante.
And so Lenoris is one of those budding stars. And there was a couple of guys on the front of that South Carolina defense that also are budding stars.
Absolutely. Yeah, they got to get paid.
And so, the money is out there, it's for sure. And speaking of Gators, at the very least, RJ, this kind of ties together, so we should hit this one as well.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I really can't even attach this phrase, what could have been, to this guy, because I really don't know. Kadarius Toney waived again, a former first-round draft pick, and now he's moved on from the Giants to the Chiefs to the Browns. The Browns have waived him, and he was the guy that looked like he could be that dynamic, multifaceted, different skill set, take the ball near the line of scrimmage, gain yards for you, take a defense deep and make the big play, and just hadn't happened.
Hey, listen, I don't want to get into it. I'm only speculating, but when you got a guy with that much talent, that much speed, it can't be, or it could be, what's going on on the field and off the field.
I think it's off the field.
You know what I'm saying? Because usually when you got so much talent on a team, you get a longer leash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you got speed, because that's what I remember here at Florida having speed. I mean, And that's a premium in the NFL. If you're a wide receiver that can take the top off of defense, you get a longer leash. It's got to be some other issues where he's been in the league, 4 years, and has been on 4 teams or 3 years or something like that.
He came in the same year that ETN came in, so yeah. Yeah, and of course, T-Law. So that's where it's at. It just has not worked out for him, and he's a guy that we know was doing the music career and some of the other things, and just, holy smokes, just cannot. I can tell you this, bro. You're going to miss it when it's gone. You're going to miss it when it's gone. And that's when they'll try and climb back in.
I'm telling you, this civilian life, bro, I'm telling you, when I retired and I went into coaching and they told me my yearly salary was $30,000 a year at FIU.
Yeah.
I woke up real quick. I was like, oh, Lord.
All right. Now, let me give you this real quick, just since we were on the transfer portal, and we're gonna come back, talk a little more about the actual college football playoff. But this is a high school coach. This guy can carry a lot of weight or he can carry little in your mind. It really does not matter. But it's just pointing out one thing with the transfer portal. 4 different high schools in 4 years. He's referring to a player when he puts this out on X. 4 different high schools in 4 years, 2 colleges in 3 years, going on his 3rd school in 4 years. Do whatever you'd like with that info. And he's reacting to Bear Alexander, USC defensive lineman, and the original tweet was, as expected, Bear Alexander has entered the NCAA transfer portal, and Alexander quit the team after 3 games to preserve his red shirt this season.
Wow.
I just don't know, man.
I don't know.
And Bear was supposed to be one of those big-time players.
Yeah.
And
well, if he's trying to get to the league, those are going to be all kind of red flags.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's getting the proper counseling because that is not going to weigh well with any team that he goes to. I don't care how talented you are.
Yeah, and don't think for a moment that every NFL exec out there knows what your history is and whether or not you're a guy that, they think they should pursue and bring them onto your football team. That is real. All right, XL Primetime. You guys can react to that, 641-1010. We definitely have some NFL, but college football playoff coming up here in just a second as far as some of these big games and where they're going to be played. We will do that coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. English is their second language. Their native tongue is teal and black.
Let's go!
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
10 to noon on 1010XL.
Joe C. for the Preferred Group, a group of individuals that have been in this company for a long, long time. They've been in this community and part of that company. We're talking for decades. And it was originally started with Mr. Ariel, Mr. McDowell, all the way back in the 60s. And then you got the Mark Joneses of the world and so many other good ones that have been able to build it up. Military, they got a lot of military veterans in their employee staff directory, and they also have a lot of good people working on the right things for you. Get quality when you're thinking about that new roof. Make sure you check out preferredroofingjacks.com for remodels, additions, brand new homes, whatever it might be. Don't forget preferredbuildersjacks.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, H-A-P-P-Y, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
Stay in touch with the stars of Coral Gables.
From South Beach to Jacks Beach. Stay on A1A for the latest from Miami on the Hurricane Report.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
On 1010XL.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What'll I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
With the sun setting earlier, Hidden Hills Golf Club has expanded their twilight specials so you can take advantage of our special afternoon rates and get your round in before dark. Book today at hiddenhillsgc.com and enjoy this beautiful fall weather.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
We heard you loud and clear, Jags fans, and we're taking it back to the 90s again. The Prowler throwback jerseys return to the field Sunday, December 15th, when your Jaguars take on the New York Jets. Be at the bank to see them in action while joining us for our Inspire Change game. To lock in your seats, head to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both with everyday deals at Sonny's? Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
You definitely will enjoy a cold one, especially now that we know what this college football playoff field looks like. And, man, I tell you what, you got so much to look forward to instead of just a handful of 4 teams that are going to be coming out, not playing until early January. You definitely get to look at all the other games that are going to come up much faster with a field of 12. And I am definitely fired up for that. That's for sure. All right, so Modelo bringing you the college football playoff, the official beer of the CFP, and we take a look at some of these games. So coming out of the box hot, Leon, we take a look at these games. Which one grabs you the most? Because we definitely have something different than we have had before. You got matchups, you got games that you didn't necessarily expect or predict at the start of the year, and then you also have some different sites for these first round games. So set aside the byes. Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Boise State 3, and then Arizona State 4. That first round of games, what do you like?
I think the game I'm looking the most forward to is probably Tennessee, Ohio State. I think that's going to be a nice little matchup between the two. I mean, from watching that Ohio State game against Michigan, the one thing I noticed is that Ohio State still struggles with stopping the run with all that amazing talent that they have on both sides of the ball. And Tennessee, they love running the ball. Yeah, absolutely love running the ball.
Well, they got Dylan Sampson, definitely that can kind of power that run game.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think that's going to be the toughest game. I think that the most intriguing game is I would look at. I don't know. I don't know how good Clemson is. They deal with the ACC.
But just staying on the Tennessee-Ohio State game, both of those teams can run the football.
They can.
But Tennessee's defense, I don't know whether Buckeye Nation is ready for that. That is a stout front, a good bunch of players wearing the that orange on Rocky Top. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup. Both of those defenses.
But Tennessee has the blueprint on what Ohio State struggled with in that Michigan game. You got to play bully ball. You got to play bully ball against them, and then will to be ineffective in that game.
He's not been. He and Chip Kelly both came over, and they were supposed to basically reignite the offense. Ryan Day said, "I'm handing off the offensive play calling duties to you, Chip. Come in here. Turn this thing around, get a running quarterback. Let's do it this way." And it hasn't necessarily panned out the way they wanted to.
Well, but here's the scenario. But I know we're excluding the Final Four, but I'm saying, how did Oregon, which is the number 1 seed, how did they get awarded the toughest bracket?
Yeah, if you look at one side versus the other side, and
I'm looking at all these other teams. I mean, Penn State has got to be smiling. You're going to have a Mustang team come up to Happy Valley in the cold. It's going to be cold. A Dallas team in the cold, and then you get rewarded Boise State in the next round.
Honestly, Penn State and James Franklin, who has been hammered for not being able to win ball games, the records are ridiculous in terms of what he hasn't been able to do against either top 10 or top 5 teams. 1-13 going into this last game against top 5 teams. Well, he gets that. He draws Boise State next. And so they may find themselves in the quarterfinals just like that, or in the semifinals, I should say.
Absolutely. And then I look at Notre Dame and Indiana. The Battle of Indiana, I guess, huh?
Well, I think the one thing that is kind of cool is if you do want to, at the very least, give some love to the way the new college football playoff has been set up, and the fact that we are going to see cold weather cities, and this is something that we're not used to seeing, but I'm telling you, it's going to change the way we crown our champions because it just hasn't happened before. As an example, you are going to see meaningful football in the month of December played at Notre Dame Stadium, at Beaver Stadium. You just mentioned SMU going up there to take on Penn State, at Texas Memorial, which is home of the Horns, and then Ohio Stadium in the Horseshoe. And so we're talking about, you could say, cathedrals of college football. Not all of them necessarily fit that description, but you get my point. These are big-time stadiums with a lot of atmosphere, and they're going to be the first or second week of college football playoffs.
What do you think about the weather? Do you think the weather is going to be? Everybody's saying that the weather could be the neutralizer as far as the game goes, or it could be the advantage to the home team.
Well, if you go back in time and you guys can all picture what has been the recipe for winning college football national championships. We all pretty much know what the blueprint looks like, particularly in the South. It's speed and it's depth, right?
Yeah.
It's guys that can win at the line of scrimmage and just kind of maul you. And then the deeper the roster, you can handle anything. You can handle any wave of offense if you've got that rotation of big defensive guys. And so depth and speed. When Spurrier came into the SEC, he changed it with speed and the way he called the game. When Herb went up to Ohio State, he changed the Big Ten with speed and depth. And so, yeah, that's basically what has won national championships. Now the weather's you're gonna see maybe I don't want to wish for this, but you're going to see a 17-13 game, something like that, that's in the snow with limited possessions.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I love a little defensive struggle every now and then.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I'm not going to wish for it all the time. All right, so I'm with you that Buckeye versus Rocky Top is going to be awesome. I don't know what we're going to get out of Hoosierland, but Notre Dame's going to host Indiana. I'm a Signetti fan. I would like to see what he can do, but I've already given Marcus Freeman a ton of credit. He's looking better on the sidelines at Notre Dame right now than Brian Kelly is looking on the sidelines in Baton Rouge. Clemson, I agree with you. We're probably not going to get the game we're hoping for, but Texas will host. Clemson will come in there. Cade Klubnik at times has looked okay. Defensively, they are pretty good, but I would expect that Texas wins that game. And I'm going to look at these lines coming up. 10-10 Ozzy shot me the lines. I'm going to see if I can find these here real quick. But those games, at the very least, they do set up for some excitement coming in to the first round. And we're going to get this on the 20th and the 21st. Is that right? And then we're going to be right in the picture of the first round teams that got a bye being able to move on and get ready to host the second set of games coming in. And that's where we're going to see what Oregon looks like. Is Oregon a national championship worthy team right now to be favored? They haven't done a whole hell of a lot. They haven't done enough to say that they should be the favorite, but they are the number one seed.
Well, I mean, every team in this bracket, they've got their flaws. There's no real dominance like we've had in the Final Four. Listen, when we had the Final Four, we initially knew that was going to be the Georgia, Alabama, or the sprinkle of or a sprinkle of LSU every now and then or whatever. They've dominated college football for the long. But right now, I look at all these guys in these brackets, and yeah, they're beatable. I mean, the Georgias of the world, they lost 2. Oregon's the only undefeated team, but they've had a couple of close calls. Boise's the same way. So I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the uncertainty of the brackets because there's no, in my opinion, I don't think there's any real dominant team within the brackets, in my opinion.
Well, Boise State and Arizona State, this is one of the ones that was really a big theme on X. Boise State and Arizona State have a first-round bye in the college football playoff. Please tell me how this system is not completely broken. And I get it. I totally get it. But as long as they're going to have the entire nation involved in this bad boy, this is how it's going to play out. And there's so many other ones that are just so ticked off about the idea that Alabama didn't get in or some of these other teams had the higher seed. And as a matter of fact, this one really cracked me up. Lane Kiffin, who is always on X, he's one of the great entertaining head coaches that engages on X. So Ross Dellinger, longtime CFP reporter, just like Matty Hayes, Ross tweets out a quote from Ward Manuel, who heads up the CFP selection committee. Quote, "I want to make sure everybody understands that we value strength of schedule." That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then Lane immediately reposted it and quoted, "Is this fake news?" He didn't actually say that. And then he put at Alabama football. So he was even including Alabama football into the conversation. How many head coaches will include their rival in the conversation and say that they should be included? And he had Alabama looped in there. That cracked me up.
I mean, he has the right to rant a little bit. I mean, because going on the road in the SEC has been tough this year. You're walking in, but you're limping out.
Yeah. And there were teams, and you made this point yesterday, there were teams that beat teams on the road in the SEC that we had never seen before.
Yeah.
That we did not expect it to happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Vandy being the biggest.
Yes.
4 decades between wins against Alabama. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we'll keep it going. CFP conversation on XLP as often as we can as we get ready for these big ball games coming up. XL Primetime, roll until 4 this afternoon, then the French show coming up then. So Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you miss any of the show, all you got to do is go to YouTube, punch up XL Primetime, and rewatch it. You can get all of the content real easy right there at your fingertips.
Riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go fly fishing in Montana. So you read a couple reviews and talk to some friends and book it. Maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, you talk with a few friends, try something out, it doesn't work, and you're disappointed, and we've all been there, and it blows. Stop doing that. Do what I did. Reach your goal with Awaken 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hackers lost 120. You can too. Trust me. It was simple. A word you never hear used in weight loss programs, unless, of course, you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with a solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Looking for an affordable and fast oil change? Well, Big Chief Tire has you covered. Frank Frangie here. Right now, take $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 convenient locations. Their skilled technicians will keep your car running smoothly so you can hit the road with confidence. Whether it's routine maintenance or a more extensive service, Big Chief Tire is here to help. Visit WeKeepJacksRolling.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and take advantage of this great deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Logan Cook was slicing and dicing over the weekend in the Music City. The teal and black punter recorded 198 yards on 4 punts, with as long as going 53 yards. Cook has been a master chef all season long and is your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 10, 2016, quarterback for the Louisville Cardinals, Lamar Jackson wins the 82nd Heisman Trophy, making him the youngest player to receive the award.
Jingle bells, septic's gone astray. Oh, don't let your holiday stink in the worst kind of way. Call Duck Rooter and we'll save your sleigh and your day.
904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Skylife Elite. Explore the exclusive benefits of aircraft ownership. Partner with Northeast Florida's Elite Air Charter to unlock new revenue opportunities by putting your aircraft on charter, reducing your operating costs while enjoying full service management and exclusive perks. Whether you're a current owner or considering ownership, Skylife Elite provides a seamless, personalized experience that lets your investment soar. Call Skylife Elite at 904-403-2878 to discover more about this rewarding opportunity.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step up, use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays, so why wait? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click on the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now. Get your double deposit bonus with promo code 1010XL, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman on Sunday's win against the Titans.
I think a lot of people root for different outcomes for different reasons, and I get it. But look, the coaches, the players, they work hard. I mean, it's not like they don't try. So when they do win, I'm happy for them because I've been there before where you're not winning and it's not fun, and you're in the business of winning, and when you're not winning, there is no fun. I mean, it's plain and simple. So to get that victory, and it's been, what was it, like 5 weeks or 5 games in a row that they lost? I mean, to get one finally. Whew.
Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman this morning on Jaguars Today. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway, my guesstimation is that there's probably over 700 kids in the portal right now. A lot of the kids are moving on, whatever decision they're making to move, whether it be more exposure, more money, don't want to compete. This is what coaches have to deal with now. Until the day, maybe a couple of years from now, maybe half a decade from now, that everybody across the board gets paid. And that these players revenue share with presidents or whatever it may be. There's probably going to be a commissioner who's going to look in between the two of them. But until you play these players and lock them into 2 to 3 year deals, this is your present state of college football.
And we've used so many different titles, phrases, whatever. There are no guardrails. It's the Wild Wild West. We've done all these different things to talk about it, but it's true. It's ridiculous. You tested free agency, enjoyed the fruits of your hard work 3 times in an 11-year career. And these guys basically can figure out a way to do it at a minimum twice, because there's a one-time free and then one time if you can come up with a hardship or whatever, and then graduate, no penalty whatsoever. So you can come up with 2 or 3 ways to move on. And the Letterman's jacket's now the Technicolor coat, Technicolor Dream Colors, because it's multiple. It's crazy. My takeaway is that the college football playoff, the way it is setting up, is that I guess, as Matt Hayes has labeled college football, it's the sport of complaining, and you always want to second guess whatever's going on. Well, now this is the next level of complaining, because now it was 4 who was the 5th team that deserved to be in there. Now it's 12, and it's 13, 14, 15, 16 all saying that they deserve to be in there, because Miami and Alabama both at a minimum think that they should be in. But it's just increased the possibility of excitement, lengthened the season, put you in a position where you are going to be on your couch multiple more weeks enjoying college football. So for that part, you can't go wrong. And the weather, I'm telling you, it will be a factor. New college football champions may have to survive wintry conditions, and we will find out how they handle it, because every one of the teams that we have crowned champions, most of them, I should say, have been slick, fast, and powerful.
Well, I got to tell you this, the committee is hoping that they're close games, because we've got, 4 games to play, and they're all blowouts by the team favorite. Then a lot of that's going to be put in question, and who you let in and who you let in. I'm saying you want to. The committee looks good if they're good games. Let me just say that.
It'll be ugly. There's no doubt, and we talked about this past weekend. Let's use this past weekend as an example, because when we talked about the games, we went and we did our picks, and all I want to say all of them, Leon, does it sound right that they were all 2.5 to 3.5 points? It sounds like something in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oregon, as impressive as they were only a 3.5 point favorite against Penn State. We know that Arizona State mollywopped Iowa State, but it was only a 2.5. As a matter of fact, you know what happened? You know what happened in that game? They lost their star wide receiver, so they went from -2.5 to +1 in that game. It crossed over. They went from a favorite to a dog, and then they absolutely smoked Iowa State. Could not do anything wrong, and Iowa State could not protect the football. So that was a blowout, but it was considered a close game to start. We know what Texas and Georgia represented, went to overtime, and we know what SMU and Clemson was for the majority of that game. They were all pretty dang close, but I don't know whether we're going to get close games in the first round of the playoffs. That's what we're actually going to have to find out and see whether or not it shapes up the same way.
Well, also, these players don't have to deal with the rigor of playing 15 games, bro. I mean, because most of the guys in the conference championship, once if they're not in the Final Four, they win that conference championship, their career is essentially over. So now these same players, I'm just saying that injuries fall into a play now.
Yeah, very true.
Because you got 3 extra games.
Yeah.
And before the 3 extra games, you got the practices and all that other kind of stuff.
Wear and tear. It is legit. So if you go back, Clemson was an underdog in that game, 2.5 points, and they won by a field goal, 34-31. Oregon, 45-37. That's another one-score game, and they were a 3.5 point pick, 22-19 for Georgia over Texas. And that one was, I think it closed at 3 points with Georgia as an underdog in that game. And then the blowout, of course, was Arizona State smoking Iowa State, but that was kind of the outlier, 45-19. There was no coming back for Iowa State. A couple of close calls early, and then it just was uncorked. And that Arizona State team, and I don't know whether maybe we'll play the Kenny Dillingham quote tomorrow, but he basically said, you were talking about the transfer portal, and he's like, look, do you guys want to stick around and be part of this, or you want to go ahead and start doing something else? If you want to, we support you 100%. And we don't want to hurt your chances to go somewhere else. But if you stick around, you might enjoy something. And so that's the challenge. That these players, they know they got to get in line right away with this transfer portal opening up yesterday.
Yeah, the winning is cure-all. I mean, if you're playing for something, the kids are willing to stick around. I was a little surprised that there was a couple of kids. There were kids out of Georgia that were hitting the transfer portal, but those just kids that they figure they got to bounce now before.
Yeah, they're at the butt end of the roster.
But you got a chance to win a national championship.
And let's just use Gunnar Stockton as an example. Beck goes down. Gunnar Stockton been sitting there for this entire season. Basically, been sitting there for 2 seasons because Carson was healthy and ran the entire show last year, and then was able to take it all the way to the SEC championship this year before he got hurt. And Gunnar Stockton, who had been highly recruited, highly rated, but you hadn't seen him in a impactful moment of a football game.
Yeah.
You see him later clean up or whatever the case was. Guy comes in, makes a few plays, took him down, drove the length of the field, got in the end zone, and basically helped turn that game around. So it can happen. But if you're talking about the 7th wide receiver, I guess I totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about third, fourth stringer, they figure. Plus, you got to remember these kids. These kids have now associates. You know, they've got runners and people that look out for their best interests. So the latter part of the season, they're in their ear.
Yeah, they're looking for the best interest of themselves.
Of course, because they're trying to get their percentile.
The Drew Rosenhaus runners that you had back in the day, right?
They do exist, yes.
All right, I gotta get to the NFL real quick. Let's do it with this right now, RJ.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
Shout out Brian and the boys. They're going to be at Southampton tomorrow, handing out some cold ones. So we look forward to seeing them. But you can definitely see them downtown on Bay Street. If you're heading to the Jags-Jets game on Sunday, make sure you check them out. Bold City Brewery. Right as you empty out off the Main Street bridge onto Bay Street, you will see Bold City Brewery right there on your left. So make sure you check them out. And, of course, the production house on Roselle Street in Riverside. And you got Taco Tuesday tonight, which is always great. All right, Josh Allen, he's just doing great things. There's no doubt about it. 424 yards, Leon. 342 through the air, 82 rushing. And when it was all said and done, he had 6 touchdowns. And they lost. That was a hell of a game. How'd you like to have that on the losing side of a game stat sheet? 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing. He's the first player in NFL history to record 3 touchdown passes and 3 rushing in a single game. So he is now historic. But he joins one other player, only other in NFL history with at least 3 touchdown passes and 2 rushing touchdowns in multiple career games. Can you name the other guy? We're talking 3 touchdown passes, 2 rushing in multiple career games. He has got...
That'd be Lamar.
That's a good guess. Allen's already got 5 career games with at least 2 in the air and 2 on the ground. But this one is 3 in the air and 2 on the ground.
Twice, huh? I would say Vic. Lamar and Vic are my only 2 I could watch it. I'm gonna say Lamar and Vic.
Okay, so those are good ones, and those are the obvious because you went high. Okay, you went with the marquee, the guys at the top of the marquee, which is smart. You went with the guys that, I'm not going to ask that question if it's Mike Vick or
True. I know. So it's got to be someone. Yeah.
This one, all right, I'll put it this way. This guy was kind of he had his moments, but was never really a great player. He was a starter. He could do a lot of great things, obviously, with 3 touchdown and 2 running in 2 career games, but never really all that they were hoping for.
Okay.
Nickname?
I'm gonna say what's his name? Something Magic. We called him with the Dolphins, the bearded one, the one on NFL Network.
Oh, Fitzmagic. That's a good one too.
Okay.
That's a good one too.
All right.
This nickname was Slash.
Oh,
Cordell
Stewart.
Yep, Cordell Stewart.
Wow. Okay.
Only player up until Josh Allen to have 3 in the air, 2 on the ground in multiple career games, at least 2.
I gave him that name when I was in Pittsburgh.
You did?
I gave him the name.
Then you might have should have known that.
I should have known it, man. I gave him that name because when he came in his rookie year in Pittsburgh, Cordell played running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and sometime on scout team he was a DB. I said, man, they got you playing everything here in Pittsburgh. I got you guys playing quarterback / running back / I said, we're going to call you Slash.
And the nickname was born. That's awesome. Yeah, he was a good player for a while, that's for sure. And then went out to wide receiver and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So he was definitely good. All right, good on you. We are done. We're going to hand it off to the Frangie Show. Great day. Thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. Don't forget, tomorrow, Toys for Tots, Primetime Christmas out at Southampton. If you do have an unwrapped toy that you want to give to the kids, just drop it off. They have a collection area there, or drop it off here, and we'll make sure we get it in the hands of the Marines. They are doing work to make sure kids have smiles on Christmas. We're done. Joe C., Big Search, RJ. You got the Frangie Show coming up.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.